You're sitting there wondering, what the fuck is Skyrim Anniversary Edition? What's in it? What is it? Listen, I've got you fucking covered here. Why am I cursing so much? I don't really fucking know. Skyrim Anniversary Edition is launching November 11th, next week actually, or it's already out by the time you watch this video. And with that launch comes a lot of questions. What is it? What's in it? How much does it cost? Well, I can't answer that last one for you because Bethesda won't tell anyone. They just won't tell anyone. If you're watching this after they have announced the price, I'll insert a generic reaction here that will work no matter what it is. Interesting. Enough dicking around. So first thing is, if you already own Skyrim Special Edition, that's this young boy who's turning 10 years old this year, it will get a free current gen upgrade no matter what if you already own it. That is guaranteed, whether you're on PC, PS5, or Xbox consoles. Then there's the Anniversary Edition, which adds all this content to the game, and you will find this out with a video dedicated to this on Bethesda's YouTube channel. It talks about Creation Club elements, new modes, and quest lines, and fishing. What? Fishing in a video game? Game of the year. Let's break it down. Now, I think the idea here with Skyrim Anniversary Edition, at least in my mind, at least how I look at it, it seems to be the idea is to further close that gap that exists between the console and PC Skyrim. Now, I doubt it will ever feel like it's a complete parity between the two, but you're basically getting a bundle of new content and new Creation Club content for Skyrim with Anniversary Edition. And honestly, I was a bit of a skeptic on that for a little bit. I mean, Skyrim is a great game that I definitely at the time thought was really massive and made quite an impression on me and a lot of other people who still play it and talk about it to this day, or even mod it or create content for it. But it's lost a little bit of its luster, at least for me. But I will say that some of the new content that you hear about and that they are showing off or talking about here does sound pretty promising, and I want to talk about it here. Saints and Seducers, also included for Special Edition owners. Saints and Seducers will include the largest amount of content that's ever been included in a single creation. It consists of a new storyline, new armor sets and expansion, artifacts, enemies, and more. And of course, if you're curious about what it is about or what that is, and haven't played it or know what it is, it revolves around the machinations of a manic mage who has weakened the barriers between the Shivering Isles and Tamriel, allowing madness to seep through. This creation adds new summons, enemies, alchemy ingredients, a dungeon, recruitable pets, 2 artifacts, 4 craftable armor and weapon sets, a quest and several side quests, all themed around the Shivering Isles. Essentially, it's a callback to the Shivering Isles expansion from Oblivion, that's what it seems like at least. And you're going to see a theme here with these next few things I'm going to mention, that they're all for Special Edition owners, it seems at no additional cost. And that's likely to incentivize you to get the Anniversary Edition upgrade, which we know costs money. But let's continue. Rare Curios, also included for Special Edition owners. This creation will see Khajiit caravans arrive in towns in the surrounding areas that are carrying rare inputs from far reaches of Tamriel. These ingredients will let players craft new potions, arrows, and poisons. There will even be rare stones crafted by the Aelids to be obtained, like the flawed Varla stone and Welkind stone. Survival mode, also included for Special Edition owners. For those looking for a bit more of a challenge, Skyrim's survival mode creation is an immersive challenge that will test players by forcing them to keep warm in the cold, keep their bellies full, and be careful not to succumb to exhaustion. Players will need to forage, catch, cook, and scavenge to survive. And the one you've been waiting for, fishing, also included for Special Edition owners. Fishing will now be a part of Skyrim, and over 20 unique aquatic species are just waiting to be caught. Once caught, these fish can be cooked, displayed as trophies, or used as pets in an aquarium. There will also be fishing-related quests to undertake, and these fishing spots will take you to some of the most beautiful places on the map. And that's basically what we're getting. It seems just for owning Skyrim Special Edition, you're going to get all that good stuff with it, and just that alone may be enough to get some people back in. The reason Skyrim is even still relevant today is because its modding community is so robust and massive, and anybody who follows Skyrim or knows anything about Skyrim will tell you that that's true. And listen, you know what? I'm going to come close real quick. Come close. Let me tell you something about Skyrim's vanilla quest lines. They're not very good. Seriously, I recently just played a bunch of Skyrim for this video and beyond, and it's still fun to play, but the questing is just not great. So the Saints and Seducers creation sounds better than any of the faction storylines in Skyrim, minus the Dark Brotherhood. Also too, you just have all of these new items and quests or ways of playing, or even ways to customize your playthrough. What I said at the outset I think is true. This is all, I think, at least in part, an attempt to close that gap between the PC and console Skyrim versions a bit, because if you play Skyrim on PC, you probably can mod Skyrim to hell and back and make it a completely different experience for yourself. So is that stuff worth upgrading your game for? Maybe not. But if you are on console, it can be a tempting proposition to say, well, you can get a bunch of new content now on your PlayStation or Xbox. It also seems like a good way to get people more exposed to the Creation Club content. You could already get some of those mods on console, that is, but with the Anniversary Edition, as Bethesda describes, you'll have access to all the previous Creation Club content. You can see some of it here in the video, and some hints of extra content that they have are here below that I'm going to describe to you. Ghosts of Tribunal. The Ghosts of Tribunal creation will let players earn over a dozen weapons and armor pieces featured in the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. The Cause. In The Cause, players will have to deal with the Mythic Dawn, a group that is trying to form a new Oblivion Gate. The new content will also feature new enemies, locations, weapons, and even a conjurable Daedric horse. There's no indication with the Anniversary Edition if future creation content will have additional fees. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but it would appear with Anniversary, you're getting basically just like a small premium, whatever it may be, who knows. You're getting a ton of extra content and items to find and unlock and do things with. Now, Skyrim does has its problems, and I can talk about those issues, but there's just a feeling I get, and you know this if you played it, you just get this feeling when you play this game that a lot of games just, they can't replicate it. And to be able to get back in there after all these years with this new content to enjoy is kind of thrilling. It's not a simple re-release of Skyrim as much as we like to make fun of it and meme about it, and you definitely should keep memeing about it because it is very funny. That can also be easily countered, I admit, by playing the PC version and modding the game a whole ton, so it's not an overwhelming change for some players, maybe not even for you, but it's at least something to get people in the door and get them understanding and playing some of that Creation Club content that, regardless of how much it is or what it is in it overall, it's cool that people are still making new stuff for this game to this day. And in a way, to be able to pay like a small price and get a bunch of that content just in one package, I think is pretty cool. PC Gamer was actually nice enough to just release a full breakdown of what is included fully, at least like a breakdown of what is in the Anniversary Edition or what you're getting with it. So it helps if you're still evaluating if you're going to upgrade your Special Edition purchase. What's included in the Skyrim Anniversary Edition? When you buy Skyrim Anniversary Edition, here's what's actually included in the package. Skyrim Special Edition, Skyrim's original DLCs Dawnguard, Earthfire, and Dragonborn, next-gen improvements of Skyrim Special Edition, all 48 previously released Creation Club items, 26 new Creation Club items, which brings that total to a whopping 72 creations. So all of this new content thrown in there for one package that is Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Oh, it occurs to me that if you're disconnected from this stuff, you may not be totally familiar with Bethesda's Creation Club and what exactly the kind of content you're getting is here. It's essentially like it's paid DLCs crafted either internally by Bethesda themselves or by approved external creators. It's kind of like mod authors can monetize the content that they make for the game, and it's not without its controversy. I'm not here saying that I'm in favor of it or not, but the whole point with Anniversary Edition, as I've repeated multiple times likely, is to give you a handful of this curated content from the Creation Club for a pretty modest premium of insert price of Anniversary Edition here. I know we joke again, like I said, about Skyrim being released all the time, but I'm kind of excited about this despite everything. Again, we just don't know how much the upgrade is going to be because as of this recording at least, nobody said anything about how much it's going to be, but come on, man. It's legit coming next week and we still don't know? Well, whatever. Now, a problem that's going to come up here and that you're going to see is the mods. Anytime a game gets updated on PC, there's a chance that mods could become incompatible with it, and Skyrim Anniversary Edition is going to be no different. Nexus Mods has a pretty comprehensive list right now that you comb through of all the mods that are going to be broken with the Anniversary Edition launch, and the list is pretty massive. I mean, it's huge. So I guess my advice for you would be to go and just take a look at it, and if you're playing on PC, maybe just don't update to the Anniversary Edition, at least at first. You can probably install a bunch of mods that do the same thing or similar things that Anniversary Edition does anyway. It's probably not going to be like that forever, but the issue is there, and some modders are basically preparing for the worst. They expect that the Skyrim script extender, which apparently you need for a lot of mods, needs to be updated. So it's probably not going to be a long-lasting issue for a lot of mods, but it does mean there's going to be a lot of compatibility issues with this update. So you might want to switch off the whole automatic updates for Skyrim or online updates, whatever the hell it is, on whatever you play on the PC version of Skyrim on. With all of that in mind, I am tentatively very excited to try some of this new content. We have seen some of the cool stuff that the community has been able to do with Skyrim on PC, and like, think about the Forgotten City. That was a mod that was so popular that it spawned its own development cycle where it got its own game made from that mod. And I think what Anniversary Edition does is just closes that gap a bit with the new content and fixes. And as I've said multiple times in this video, it's hard to make that argument to you that you should ditch the PC version or that you should upgrade, because there's a lot of mods out there that do similar things or can do more than what the Anniversary Edition is purporting to do. But for console players and anyone who just wants to jump back into Skyrim with little maintenance, this is a no-brainer for you. The only other thing here that I'm kind of curious about is I want to see what the next-gen upgrades are going to be for the game. And as I think Bethesda has really not explained a lot, even though they've been talking about this whole Anniversary Edition for a while and the 10-year anniversary of Skyrim, it really has me sitting here wondering, probably like the rest of you, what are you waiting for? It's not like we're asking for much, just some ideas of how you're improving the game for these new pieces of hardware that have been out for over a year, almost a year. Now that complaint probably falls on deaf ears because we won't have to wait long for answers since it launches next week, and by the time you see this video, it might already be out, or you might have new details out about it. But either way, I wanted to talk about what exactly is included in the Anniversary Edition, or basically what it is, because even before I did this video, I myself was a bit confused as to what it was or what the differences were, so I hope you found this video pretty informative. Anyway folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now let me know what you think down below. Will you get back into Skyrim? Are you kind of done with it? What do you think of some of this new content? Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you liked it and a thumbs down if you didn't. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the description down below, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon. Oh, and I love you all. Maybe.